Hey, welcome to my new channel, Kelly versus Crafts. First off, I'm going to let you know that crafts are going to win. This is sort of a predetermined. This is like me boxing against somebody that actually had skills. I have none. That doesn't seem to have changed the fact that I decided to buy a whole bunch of equipment. I'm going to show you the equipment. I bought I think you might be able to see it right here in the background. I got a F570 sublimation printer. And if I turn around the other direction, you'll see I have my heat press over there. So I went off and, hello, this thing's supposed to be following me. I went off and I bought a whole bunch of equipment thinking crafts are easy. Crafts are hard. And I have to say that it's all my friends' fault. So friends, if you're watching me now, screw you. Because you guys all made it look simple and I thought, I can do this. No problem. I'm just going to find something that interests me and I'm going to do it. So long story short, here's what happened. My friends decided to make t-shirts. Now, some of my friends have been doing t-shirts for I don't know how long. I've always heard this word cricket from all of my friends and weeding, and I had no idea, didn't really care what that really meant. So I decided, okay, they're all having fun. Well, one day, for whatever reason, I went over and helped a friend. I'm like, oh, we can make some t-shirts. Okay. Well, fast forward, that guy got me into, I can make a t-shirt or two. This is not a problem. I didn't know the difference between sublimation, DTF, DTG, heat press, not a heat press. You know, what does mugs, what doesn't do mugs, what does blah, 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 blah. Okay. So not my forte. Artsy craftsy stuff, clearly not something I'm good at. Just gonna let you know that now. Sarcasm, wit, yeah, I might be okay at that. Obviously, I've had a meal or two, so I'm pretty good at the eating portion of my day. But crafts, not so much. So this is just an introductory video of what's going to be coming up. Now, first off, I want to tell you that my F570 printer, which is directly behind me, I could probably hit, no, I'm not going to hit that button because I'll screw up my whole thing. Anyway, I bought that because I really thought that I wanted to do artwork. And let me tell you more about what I mean with artwork. So if you've ever looked at people on Instagram, which is probably the worst thing you can ever watch, thinking you can do crafts, because everybody on there makes it look so easy. It's still not. I was really interested in doing art on aluminum. All right, so this is aluminum. You can see it's real plexy. And it's got a certain coating on it, so it can make things look really pretty. So you make a little print job, just, you know, you print it out off of a very special printer with special ink and everything, and you heat press it into here. And all of the vapors for the color get soaked into this very special coating on this aluminum. And if you look really closely at this, it's not the right colors. How do you know? Well, number one, the vibrant green isn't there. Woodstock doesn't look very yellow. And this black is hideously not black. Okay, so this was my very first job. I think I printed 3 things on my sublimation printer, which, by the way, was a nightmare to get. I ordered it. It showed up. I went to go install everything, and the software kept having a problem. So I called Epson. Long story short, 2.5 months later, I finally got my Epson replacement printer. Not Epson's complete fault, but Epson's fault. And I've been going to town on it, so I thought, oh, clearly I've watched enough videos. This is like no problem, right? I got myself a heat press. I got myself some sublimation blanks. I'm just gonna make one. Yeah, turned out like crap. So then I thought, okay, what's the problem? So like anyone else, I went back to Instagram. I went back to YouTube and read some things and tweaked my heat press so it has more pressure, and then I added more time and more temperature to my heat press so that I could do it. And picture number 2, still not right. So I don't know if I don't have enough time, but the colors, as you can tell, improved, but the black still isn't black, but the other colors are kind of coming through. So it's getting closer, but it's still not right. So I have more blanks. Maybe I have bad blanks, but I'm going to go with it's a Kelly problem and not a sublimation problem. So anyway, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to figure this thing out. So while I was waiting for my sublimation printer, I had a heat press. Well, if a person has a heat press, what do you have to do? You have to figure out what you can press. That's when I learned the difference between DTG, DTF, and sublimation, which for some people, this is like a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, an 8-cylinder. Some people, you guys get in your cars and you just know it starts and it goes. You have no idea if it's a 4-cylinder, if it has a turbo, if it's a 6-cylinder, if it's a straight 6, inline 6, or V8. You don't know these things. Okay, that was me when it came to all this crap. I had no idea. Wait, still don't. So I have a heat press. I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to learn how to make some shirts. So that's when I had to figure out, what is a DTF? Digital transfer file? Okay, how do I get one? I don't have a printer for that. Oh, you have to order it. In order to order it, you have to, have a picture of something. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little story about my family. I have 2 daughters, twin daughters, 28 years old, beautiful little girls with opinions. Okay, for all of you out there that have adult children, I don't recall us telling them they can have their own opinions, but mine have gotten their own opinions. And ignore this mess, by the way. But mine have opinions about artificial intelligence, AI. I use a software called loveart.ai. Now, for those of you that know how to draw or really like Canva and you like taking the clip art and putting it all together and calling that your artwork, love it. I'm more of a prompter. I want to tell something, hey, I want this picture. So I wore this shirt for a reason. I wanted to make this shirt because I go to a lot of baseball games, and I wanted to make a shirt for all the people because I have a heat press. Of course, I've got to make some shirts. I found out what this little is, this plastic thing that you heat on to shirts, and I'm going to cough, I'm sorry. And I wanted to make a cool shirt for everybody because that can't be hard, right? So I go on to my little Love Art program and I say, hey, you know what? I want to have a whole bunch of fireworks because it's a firework party. I want my last name on it. So if you guys want to find me, apparently you can. It is a friends and family event. It's the 2nd annual, and the team we're going to go watch is the Sacramento River Cats. And I wanted to make sure that we had a whole bunch of stuff on here, right? So I go and I have loveart.ai make this logo, all based on my prompt. Now, the only thing, if you want to call it copied, because my daughters believe that it's stolen art, is I did get the logo from the River Cats, but everything else is all me and my thoughts and what I told AI that I wanted, and I refined it a couple times to get the picture that I wanted. I sent this off to my local DTF printer. I'm lucky that there's one that's about 15 minutes from my house. He does it. I send it in one night at night. He prints it up in the morning, and I go pick it up. It's very inexpensive. So he ran 22 of these for me on a gang sheet. Didn't know what a gang sheet was. Luckily, there's the auto build function in a gang sheet. If all these words, by the way, don't make sense to you, please don't panic, because I will tell you that 3 or 4 weeks ago, none of them made sense to me, and I'm still learning what the heck they are, and I'm probably using 95% of them wrong, so forgive me. Anyway, had them all done, cut them all up. And so what's the next thing you got to do? You got to order t-shirts. By the way, this is a nightmare, ordering t-shirts. I had 20 people had to guess their sizes. But more importantly, what kind of shirts do you use? This is where you start learning different fabrics. I'm not a shopper. I don't shop. I didn't know the difference between a cotton shirt for DTF versus a polyester shirt for sublimation. I didn't know there was a difference. Anyway, I order all glidden shirts for everybody, and I press these. Now, I had never really done a whole lot of shirts. I've done like a mismatch, like 4 or 5 shirts. And my poor heat press has been sitting there waiting for my sublimation printer to come. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to be a genius at this. I've watched a whole bunch of Instagram. I'm going to be able to do this. They make it look so easy. People, remember, when someone makes something look easy, that generally means they have skills. I have skills in other things. I will tell you for sure, not one of them is in crafts. So that's why the name of this channel is going to be Kelly versus Crafts. Crafts are going to win for a long time, but I'm evil and I will figure it out. Anyway, I digest. So I digress. I made 20 of these shirts, pressed them, and I'm all happy. I didn't know you had to double press them, but I did. Like, thank goodness. Double pressed them because when I got my DTFs, it had a little set of instructions. Heat to 375. Didn't know you had temperatures things on this heat press. It says press firmly, then take a peel off hot versus a cold peel versus a hot peel. When you peel it off, then you go ahead and you repress it a second time so it makes it softer. It does make it a lot softer. It's still plasticky though. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that a DTF has plastic issues. Anyway, very proud of them. Handing them out to everybody. My daughters didn't want to wear them because it was AI generated. Now keep in mind, if it weren't for AI, I wouldn't have no business doing any of this particular craft. I wouldn't be making t-shirts because I can't draw to save my life. Excuse my grandmother's clock. But because I have Love Art Day AI, which is done by programmers that make all my fantasies come true, and I don't have to try and tell a designer, this is not stolen, contrary to what they think. We'll have to butt heads about that later. I am now a proud owner of an Epson printer, which I would have done, which means I'm going to be buying supplies for all that. I now buy a gazillion t-shirts, apparently. I have a heat press, which got me to buy this table that I have everything on, and other supplies. So, you know what? I've supported the community because Love AI exists. Okay, so fast forward. This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be doing. I will be showing how to, how not to, and all my failures because it's going to be a journey. So I wanted to tell you, I got really excited. I'm a Snoopy fan. So I wanted to make Snoopy shirts. I'm also a golfer. I like to make shirts, or I like the idea of full color shirts. I mean, these that have a logo on the front are cool, but I wanted something that was full bodied and everything else. So I wanted to practice. So being what I thought was smart, I went off and I got a whole bunch of polyester pillowcases because they're large and I can do large prints. Now, had I been smart, and I'm not, I would have gotten into small projects and said, hey, I want to do small spaces like this on t-shirts and I'll just be happy with those. No, I had too much time and I thought, I want to do all over prints because everybody makes it look easy. There's some woman on Instagram that goes and she takes her little printer and she makes a whole bunch of pages and she cuts her picture up into different little parts and then she pastes them all together and then she prints them on, she puts them into her little heat press and she presses them and everything turns out great. She does it. I should be able to do it, right? No, I can't. So anyway, I made this one and it turned out pretty good, which gave me false hope. So then I made this one. You may notice that it looks a lot like a different picture that I showed you a few minutes ago, right? But like anything else, it didn't come out well. Notice how it has all these streaks and everything else? Because there's a difference between how long I pressed it or the temperature or the pressure. I don't know, but this is what happens when you don't know what you're doing. On the other hand, the sublimation printer, you can't see it probably in here, but it really shows the fur on Snoopy. I mean, if you really look at this thing, it's detailed. It's really, really detailed. But this is a full pillowcase transfer. It's not bad for my first time, but it's not great either. I mean, you couldn't sell this. You couldn't say, ooh, I have a store, come buy my craft because I'm really good at it. No, I'd be sending you the shit thing that you'd be all going, that sucked. And why did I pay you for it? So, you know, being smart ass that I am, I thought, I'll get better at it. So I did another pillowcase, which got me into, I'll go ahead and make more. Well, then I made a shirt. Okay, number one, making a shirt is a whole different animal. I thought the pillowcases were going to be equivalent to the shirt. So when I had one or two pillowcases turn out mediocre to fair, I meandered over to the shirt. The nice thing about a pillowcase is about $3 per pillowcase, right? I got them in, you know, in a bulk thing. If there's a dollar section on Amazon, I'm upside down, dollar section on Amazon. And so I bought a whole bunch of these pillowcases because they're polyester and I'm like, that's a great thing to practice on. So I got one or two that came out right and I'm like, clearly I'm ready for a t-shirt. No, I'm not. So I did a t-shirt. Let me show you what happened with this t-shirt. All right. So this is the front. I didn't even take the tag off of it. Look, I still have the tag on it. And I thought, I'm gonna make myself a t-shirt because I want to make something that I'm gonna wear golfing. So this is what it looks like. I'm stand back a little bit. Okay? But when you look at it, and I can send you pictures or whatever, it's not consistent all the way through. It kind of didn't go well. So then I thought, I'll try it again. So I did it on the back. It turned out better because I had to shrink the size because apparently I don't know how to do pressure repeatedly on two different areas. I'm not real good at it. But I'm going to get better. The nice thing about sublimation, so those of you who don't know, is that this feels really super soft. Now we can come over here to me. Hello. I love cameras and technology. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of editing to this channel, so you know that I'm really doing it. So if you see these blunders like this, sorry. Okay. Anyway, this is like soft. It still feels like fabric. It doesn't have that plasticky sound. You hear that? This one doesn't have it. That's why I love sublimation. Now, I've been printing up a Dickens for like 4 days, making all these things, big things, you know, and because why start off small when you can screw up big? So I already went through one of the waste maintenance things in 4 days. It's a $46 replacement part in 4 days. If you multiply that out, it's like $300 a month I'm going to be paying just to keep this thing working for weekends. That's ridiculous. Luckily, there is a part for that on Amazon. I hate to always have to go to Amazon, but for $18. So I ordered 2 as a backup, and I won't be printing as much because I'm going to go back to small instead of my grandiose things of I'll be able to do it huge. But I will tell you, so far I've become quite a consumer. Let's walk over here for a minute and I'll tell you what I mean. All right, so, grandmother's clock. This is my little corner. So now you can see my printing press. But look, I've got all sorts of things going on here. I've got paper. Oh, this isn't going to show you the paper. I've got papers. I've got all sorts of things in my house. So I'm trying to I got shirts. So I made my spouse shirts, right? That one actually turned out really good. Let's see if I can make it up there. That turned out really good. I made a sweatshirt for her. Let's doula this. Turned out pretty good. So the small things, apparently I can do. I can do small. Big, that's going to take more practice than I was prepared for. I thought I was just going to nail this out the gate. I mean, it can't be hard. Other people do it all the time. It's hard, people. It's really, really hard. So, anyway, Kelly's versus Crafts. I will be filming myself. There'll probably be some cussing. There'll be a lot of dancing because you have nothing but time for the 40 seconds or 55 seconds that things are pressing. I will show you what my Epson printer does. I'll be showing you all my F-ups. I'd like to say I'm going to show you a whole bunch of successes, but so far I haven't had any. I will talk about where I get DTF prints. I'll even take you to the shop that I go to. And this is how sick I am, all right? So I play with this stuff and I think to myself, I can do this. I've already dreamed up that I'm going to open up a shop. I'm going to get a Shopify store, do the drop ship. I'll go ahead and order. I'll make my own Hot Topic type store down here. I'll sublet. I got all these fantasies. I can't even print a shirt. I am so far ahead of my skills. I'm like planning my store, what I'm going to name it, where it's going to go, the foot traffic, the parties, everything else. I can't even make a shirt. Okay, so if you've ever done a craft and you failed, or you're thinking about doing a craft and you're scared, I'm your channel. Because you know what? We're going to learn how to do this together one way or another. All right, so episode 1 in the tank. Again, not a lot of editing. Sorry that I'm not a good camera person, because that's yet another skill that I don't have. I will see you in a day or two with something that I'm crafting. All right.